Life support, good. Depth, 109 or 28 meters. Beginning exploration of the bottom. It was an amazing experience. It was an amazing dive. I think almost exactly 12 hours.
The Mariana Trench is a place of mystery, and intriguing secrets have long captured the attention of explorers and scientists, leading to daring journeys down into its depths. Recently, a team of scientists made a disturbing discovery during an expedition, leaving many feeling uneasy. What did they find? What could this mean for mankind? Join us as we delve deep into the Mariana Trench, uncovering the disturbing discovery that scientists just made. Terrifying finds in the Mariana Trench. Scientists have just found that 8.9 kilometers beneath the sea surface, deep down in the Mariana Trench, there is a new kind of virus that lives there. This novel virus, Sipho, found in sediments, is a member of the recently described family Sipho Viruses, which is specific for bacteria and in no way affects humans. This finding was discovered in the Hadal Zone, the ocean's deepest part, lying between 6 and 11 kilometers beneath sea level in our planet's least explored and most mysterious place. Scientists have cautioned that, though this deep-sea virus poses no direct threat to humans, it acts as an important regulator of global ecology. As researchers gain knowledge about Hadal phages, an attempt to know more about the diversity and genetic features of phages is needed to provide a theoretical base for a deeper analysis of the ecosystem. These discoveries have raised eyebrows, making us wonder what else might be lying at the bottom of the Mariana Trench beneath the depths of the Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench is not just a hole in the ocean floor, it is a tremendously long and narrow gorge at the bottom of oceanic water. This natural phenomenon is the result of substantial portions of the planet's surface coming together and exerting tremendous pressure upon one another, which takes place over a very long time period, from mere centimeters to over 10 centimeters a year. The event displays itself when one segment of Earth's surface falls beneath another to create aquatic chasms that drop 2 to 2.5 miles beneath the adjacent ocean floor. Even though there are numerous deep trenches on the globe, the Mariana Trench, which swoops around 1,580 miles in a more or less circular shape, becomes the deepest of them all. The interest in the Mariana Trench is not limited to its extreme length, but also includes its exceptionally high depth. Floating to such depths is a hard task for humans because of the many things that you have to deal with while descending into the ocean. With the help of sound waves reflected through the water, researchers are convinced that the depth of the trench is at least 36,070 feet. Neighboring Guam and other U.S.-linked islands, the United States, in turn, takes it upon itself to take care of them. The year 2009 witnessed the trench being declared a specially protected area by the president, which transformed it into the Mariana Trench Marine National Monument. This reserve covers an area of around 195,000 square miles of the seafloor and the surrounding waters, with legislation to safeguard it. The beginning of the Mariana Trench is rooted in a singular geologic situation called a subduction zone. Imagine giant, solid earth crusts like the colossal rocky plates. One plate is pushed beneath the other, with compression forces that are comparable to the compression of a sandwich. This process prompts the creation of a deep trench on the ocean floor. The case of the Mariana Trench refers to the Pacific Ocean's lithosphere subducting under the Philippine lithosphere. The Pacific crust, at 180 million years old, is bending and subsiding into the Earth's vast mantle. On the contrary, the Philippine crust is relatively younger and tinier. At these subduction zones, the cold crust is descending into the deeper parts of the Earth through the process of subduction, which makes it melt. Despite its wonderful depth, the Mariana Trench is not the spherical Earth's center point exactly, though the planet is slightly flattened in shape. However, these depths continue to inspire scientific research, and they provide an opportunity to explore the complex geological processes that make our planet the dynamic place that it is. In the near North Pole region, the territory is very close to the Earth's core, as compared to the deepest part of the Mariana Trench. When venturing to the bottom of the trench, huge pressure becomes the environment that organisms have to face, which is 1,000 times greater than what is experienced at the surface, similar to the pressure effect of 50 huge jumbo jets being placed on top of an individual. In sharp comparison to terrestrial ecosystems, the ones in the Mariana Trench are quite unique. Permanent darkness embraces the habitat, while the unremitting pressure of water makes their survival almost impossible. Nutrient deficiency substantiates itself in this no-access area, as terrestrial matter hardly reaches the ocean bottom, and even plankton must go down thousands of feet to locate the trench depth. The discovery of the Mariana Trench was first made in 1917 by the HMS Challenger during their long-time voyage around the globe. Provided with specialized tools, the crew proceeded to gauge the depth of the trench and contributed significantly to oceanography. Some of the new species they discovered were reported to be about 4,700 in number. The trench is indeed home to a wide range of species and strange phenomena. What were the most mind-blowing discoveries ever made at the Mariana Trench? Mysterious sounds in the deep ocean. In 2014, Sarah Mitchell, a bold marine scientist, teamed up with Captain James Turner, a seasoned submarine expert, to dive deep into the Mariana Trench aboard the Abyss Seeker ship for an adventurous exploration of its abyss. As the Abyss Seeker descended into the trench, the world outside turned misty and ethereal. The pitch-black darkness swallowed up all light, and the immense pressure at such depths created an eerie sensation for the brave duo. Inside the cramped cabin, Mitchell, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension, peered out of the thick glass window. Turner skillfully guided the vessel towards the trench's floor, revealing a mysterious world rarely seen by human eyes. It was a place shrouded in mystery, where eerie sounds resembling ghostly whispers echoed through the water's depths. Amidst the eerie sounds of the Mariana Trench, Mitchell diligently recorded every minute detail, capturing the strange clicks, whistles, and hums that seemed to permeate the air with each vibration of the vessel. The deeper they delved, the more the underwater world seemed to envelop them in its eerie atmosphere, filling their senses with enigmatic sights and sounds that captivated their minds. Days turned into weeks, and a figment of imagination became a theme song that filled Mitchell's notebook. After that, the secrets of the trench were uncovered unbelievably at the deepest depth. The submersible's bright light soon penetrated the darkness, projecting a beautiful scene, an enormous field of rich bioluminescent creatures on the trench floor. These massive creatures that resembled mythic giant squids created a blue-green light, bathing the trench in a mesmerizing, otherworldly glow. Majestically, the serpent-like tentacles danced a bewitching ballad, transforming the previously threatening abyss into a living artwork. This deep understanding struck Mitchell suddenly. The mysterious noises were a big part of these majestic creatures' speech system, reminding her of how closely connected life was in the deep abyss. They transformed a harsh mixture of sound signals and reflections into a language of the deep that was previously unknown to the human mind. The suspense reached the point where it was hardly bearable as Mitchell and Turner were watching the creatures dance, a homage exhibited by nature that overshot the underwater world boundaries. The glowing squid is not the only species to have shocked researchers. Let's take a look at these animals. The enigmatic Dumbo Octopus. Scientists found a very rare Dumbo octopus a mile below the Pacific Ocean surface, which was close by an unnamed seamount in the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument, as described in the report. Also called Grimpoteuthis, they are small creatures not more than 8 inches long. There are actually over 17 different species of this Dumbo octopus. Also, the fact that it has ear-like fins that look identical to the cartoon elephant's ears certainly lends it an alien-like appeal. Plunging into realms as deep as 3,000 to 4,000 meters, the Dumbo octopus has adapted to the extreme conditions of the ocean. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and Ocean Exploration Trust have released a video showcasing the Dumbo octopus swimming around the northwestern part of Hawaii. The amazing Dumbo octopuses are the deepest living octopuses, who often dwell at 13,000 feet in the depths, according to National Geographic. In the complete blackness of the trench, where light seems to not exist and almost nothing survives, the Dumbo octopus has developed its own unique way of living. Despite the difficulties, it can demonstrate a breathtaking mermaid ballet. Unlike some species that are powered by jets, this animal chooses a more elegant way. Its ear-like fins allow it to glide easily through the water, fine-tuning the complexity of the deep artfully. The large ears that look like fins are useful to catch food, a skill this creature possesses. The 7.9 to 12-inch octopus eats snails, worms, and other flat sea animals. Scientists call it Dumbo because of the two giant fins on their mantle that look like ears. Exposed to the scarcity of food, the Dumbo octopus acts as a generalist predator, showing its ability to devour tiny crustaceans, worms, and other deep-sea inhabitants. It is the culinary wonder of the ocean, which demonstrates its ability to be resilient in the onslaught of turbulent conditions. In contrast to the majority of the octopuses, this sea creature doesn't contain ink sacs, which are generally considered defensive devices. Due to the low predation in the deep-sea environment, the defenses of cephalopods are not necessary. In accordance with the Ocean Exploration Trust, scientists are widely required to solve regional management problems and promote science implications, such as a deeper conception of the deep-sea natural and cultural resources, the biogeographic pattern of the species, and seamount geological history. The deeper scientists investigate the mysteries of the Mariana Trench. The more they discover the survival skills, as well as the harmony of the Dumbo octopus in the most difficult conditions marine life is familiar with, as well as the fact that it has been proven to be the only deepest living octopus. While the Dumbo octopus looks appealing, it's not advisable to keep it as a pet. Next up is a place called the Challenger Deep in the Pacific Ocean that is very dark and deep. Diving into the Challenger Deep. This large trench is the deepest point on the planet, challenging and attracting, in equal measure, daring explorers and stubborn scientists. The Challenger Deep journey was initiated with a legendary dive on January 23, 1960. Explorers Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard made themselves extraordinary by submerging in the dark unknown on the bathyscaphe Trieste. The spaceship in their control endured stress that was equivalent to 50 jumbo jets aligned on a postage stamp. While they were submerged in the frigid depths, the coldness dropped all the way to the freezing point, which was supplied by the onboard equipment. Although 2012 was one of the years that added a new line to the Challenger Deep history, filmmaker and explorer James Cameron set off on a record-breaking journey by commanding the Challenger submersible. He was the first person in half a century to penetrate the Challenger Deep, and he achieved a depth of about 11,000 meters. This was not just a dive into the deep, where pressure is unforgiving and the cold is searing. Confronting the Challenger Deep took more than just courage. The proper gear was needed, along with nerves of steel. Cameron's expedition, which was more than just a search for a thrill, contributed to the exploration of the ecosystem within the abyssal depths. The Challenger Deep remains a deadly sanctuary that can be reached only by a few who have the technical capabilities and sophistication to overcome extreme conditions. It is not a sight for the weak of the heart. The pressures are relentless, the cold hurts, and blackness surrounds you like a thick blanket. Only those whose spirit cannot be conquered have risked opening the treasure chests of its mysteries. Without a doubt, Challenger Deep remains the most secluded and hard-to-reach part of the world for researchers and explorers, even after all these years. It is not simply a dot on a map. It is a gateway to a world of extremes and wonders, a mystery of the enormous space under the ocean's surface yet to be discovered. Nature has formed an ecosystem of inexplicable pressure and extremely cold, deep darkness beyond imagination. Few people have been brave enough to dive into its core and take risks to discover the mystery and also discover diverse, mutant fish, revealing weird fishes under. The Mariana Trench is world famous for its extreme depths and alien-like species, such as the goblin shark, which are mainly elusive and rarely seen. The different shark species found in deep-sea areas worldwide are usually exposed in the Mariana Trench, indicating the trench's importance as a biodiversity hotspot. The goblin shark, a rare and deep-sea creature, was discovered in Mariana Trench, which is the deepest oceanic trench on Earth and situated at the western Pacific Ocean. It was discovered and named by scientists during deep-sea dives, which took place in the middle of the 20th century. This creature is an extraordinary and stealthy predator. It dwells in the shadows and waits until the fish is carried away. In an instant, it shoots out its jaws like a missile that is a weapon of fear, and it snaps its prey. Its peculiar pinkish-gray skin, which is nearly transparent, reveals its internal organs, adding to the weirdness of its appearance. These attributes make the goblin shark one of the most impressive and interesting residents of the Mariana Trench. Although it was not originated in Mariana Trench, it's still one of the places they can be found. The barrelet fish, also called the spookfish, has eyes that are irregular for common aquatic life. Its head, obviously transparent as it is wearing a clear cap, distinguishes it in a fascinating way from the rest of the body. This feature is functional as well as protecting the fish's eye, which is capable of feeling even the slightest trace of light in the ocean depths. One of the mysteries that researchers are trying to explore is how the fish's eyes can move within its transparent head and focus on what is directly in front of it when capturing its prey. The barrel-eye fish's adaptation is priceless in the dark and high-pressure surroundings it inhabits. This is not only an amazing ability of life to adapt, but it is also one of the greatest examples of endurance in challenging conditions. The brain can be seen through its transparent head, and its eyes are permanently directed upwards. Contrary to expectations of encountering fearsome sea creatures, scientists stumbled upon something even more unsettling: waste. The haunting view of plastic bags and human garbage mounding up on the bottom of the Mariana Trench confirms a gloomy truth about how we see this deep-sea refuge. The trench was intended as a sort of pristine and secluded corner of Earth and a final frontier, but in reality, it is an industrial waste dump. It reveals a huge problem caused by our lack of care for the planet. Even in places that are the most inaccessible and remote, like the Mariana Trench, people are constantly leaving a trace of their activity behind in the form of discarded plastic. Still, there was a chimera found in the trench, one that gave a stir to the scientists: the unusual, long-nosed chimera. In this newest expedition, a creature of enchanting appeal and wondrously unusual features has emerged from the shadows: the gaping-nosed chimera, scientifically named Hariata raligana. This mysterious ocean dweller cannot be just explained, thereby leaving scientists with an appalling sense of confusion and incomprehension. The chimera with the long nose is characterized by an elongated snout, like a swordfish, which stretches mystically before it. This unique organ, which is scattered with sensory organs, turns out to be the most important tool for the survival of this creature. A long snout, with a mouth covered with sharp teeth, defines a picture of a real sea dweller, and a sense of both horror and respect comes to mind. In contrast to this, what makes this abysmal organism exceptional is its outstanding adaptation to the inhospitable deep environment, where the sunlight is a myth and the pressure is unbelievably superlative. In the alien world, the long-nosed chimera that once struggled now flourishes, and its skin becomes a translucent pallid that barely covers the exquisite intricacy of blood vessels underneath. The outcome is a strangely captivating creature that looks as if it were ripped from the pages of a sinister fairy tale. Such adaptation helps long-nosed chimera breathe oxygen from the freezing and oxygen-deprived waters of the trench, which demonstrates its amazing adaptability in the face of danger. Nevertheless, the terror-inducing features of these animals are not only the fascinating part of it, but their evolutionary history is equally amazing. Being part of the ancient lineage that goes back millions of years, the long-nosed chimera also stands as a living fossil, thus playing a role in challenging our perceptions of time and evolution. In addition to its gruesome shape, the chimera demonstrates a number of attributes that make it even more mysterious. The submarine, as it descends into the inky darkness of the Mariana Trench, is guided by an electrical sensory system that uses a special sixth sense in the form of electroreceptors to detect the faint electric signals emanating from its prey. This eerie innovation may be likened to the creature's ability to hunt with precision in a milieu where ordinary senses are rendered inaccessible. Not only this, but the slowness with which these creatures grow and breed adds to their mystical atmosphere. Similarly to humans, their lifespan ranges from 100 to a few hundred years. They develop slowly and reproduce a very small number of offspring during their long lives. This specific life history strategy brings an additional element of vulnerability to these indigenous beings. reinforcing their conservation needs. It was a difficult job to conduct scientific studies on long-nosed Chimera because of its remote habitat. Scientists have come up with the latest technology, such as submersibles and remotely operated vehicles, to achieve rare images of these beings in their natural environment. These activities have revealed rich and unique data about their behavior, ecology, and complex parts of the Mariana Trench's ecosystem. The presence of the long-nosed chimera in the Mariana Trench is proof that life on Earth can endure even in the harshest environments. Its mysterious and wonderful elements, from its strange appearance to its spectacular hunting abilities, still attract and baffle scientists, spreading knowledge about the terrifying depths of the water. There are not only fish in this trench, as these waters have produced a worm like no other, one that feasts on dead carcasses rather than hunts its meal, with its name fitting well, the creeping zombieworms. In 2002, Osedax worms were first found alive in the bones of a rotting gray whale on the deep sea floor, nearly 10,000 feet or 3,000 meters deep. Since then, more Osedax species have been discovered. Rather, there are 26 as per the World Register of Marine Species. Zombie worms do not eat mineral bones directly. Rather, they digest fat inside the bones. Nevertheless, they do have a different way of eating because they don't have a mouth or a stomach. The acid that comes from their skin dissolves the bone, so the fat and protein trapped inside are free. The symbiotic bacteria living in their bodies eat fat and protein. How Osedax acquires nutrients from the bacteria isn't known. They can either just digest the bacteria, or the nutrients are mysteriously passed on to the worm. These worms are highly known for extracting the last bit of nutrients from whale bones that lie in the deep sea, but they don't bother with bones at all. They have also been detected on fish bones, and they have started colonizing cow bones dumped from a ship. They take hold of whatever bones they can by drilling in with roots, which have symbiotic bacteria in them. The other side of their bodies is adorned with feathery plumes, which also serve for breathing by drawing oxygen from the seawater. Zombie worms can retract these plumes into the body when they're disturbed. The only worms doing any drilling are females. The microscopic males live inside the females. Another study reported that there were 111 males in a single female zombie worm. This gives eggs and sperm a head start as they are right next to each other, so they don't have to search for a mate. The worms release swarms of eggs, hoping some will come into contact with newly fallen bones. These worms were said to have lived for a long time, but these fish, which were recently found, seem to have existed for a longer period. Discovering the sea devil anglerfish of the Mariana Trench. A very recent freaky discovery happened in the mysterious watery depths of the Mariana Trench with an odd creature, according to a deep-sea probe known as the sea devil anglerfish. This adorable, bizarre creature, with its unique twists and turns, has won the hearts of scientists and explorers alike. The sea devil anglerfish made its appearance at the beginning of the 19th century, which was the time when the Mariana Trench was not known in the vastness of the Pacific Ocean. This remains an undiscovered realm that stirs the desires of explorers, and it was only during the Challenger expedition in 1951 that the full dimensions and secrets of the trench, including its deepest point, the Challenger Deep, were revealed. The sea devil anglerfish, Melanocytus johnsoni, seems to be one of the most mysterious creatures in the trench today. Although small, only 20 centimeters in length, the organism has features that make it an excellent hunter in the Mariana Trench in the abyssal depths. The current highlight of the sea devil anglerfish is due to the use of the latest deep-sea probes, which were used to explore the trench's depths, which is a festival of scientific accomplishment. This discovery has not only sparked the interest of researchers everywhere, but is also a breakthrough in our knowledge about life on the bottom of the ocean. One of the bizarre features of the sea devil anglerfish, besides its strange appearance that falls short of the usual picture of sea creatures, is that it has a glowing lure. The colorful lure, attached to the villain's mouth, has a double meaning. It lures prey into the absolute darkness of the ditch, where natural light never reaches, and it functions simultaneously as a frightening signal indicating the presence of a menacing predator. The sea devil anglerfish is not unique because of its appearance, but also because of its amazing mating behavior. In the confrontational situation of the Mariana Trench, where the search for a mate is tough, The male anglerfish has devised a unique strategy. It forms an anchor with the bigger female and practically becomes one with her. This way, the female can have the male always ready to mate and ensure the survival of their species. Additionally, researchers have found out that sea devil anglerfish use a very smart technique of hunting in Mariana Trench, which is a very harsh environment. Living in an area where food is scarce, this species has mastered the art of the trap. Striking with dazzling light, the anglerfish lures its prey, and in an astonishing flash of speed, it secures its meal. What is your opinion on the plastic pollution found in the Mariana Trench? Thank you for watching. Comment to share what you think in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe to see more videos.